It's recording. Sorry, this is like a little bit late. I'm assuming that if I upload it now before anyone's awake, it kind of counts. Sorry, I've been trying to do homework all night. Midterms are continuing still. This has become midterm half semester. Anyway, so this week's topic is safe sex. Um, I'm I was weird about doing this topic a little bit because I'm kind of wary of the liabilities of encouraging any sort of underage sexual activity. Um, so I want to preface by saying I don't encourage underage sexual ugh, underage sexual activity, anything illegal, um, or obviously anything forced on anyone else. So back to safe sex. A little info on my own sexuality. Um, my sexuality is I consider myself queer. Um, I'm attracted to all sorts of people, all sorts of bodies. I don't consider myself pansexual because I personally feel like I haven't experienced all people or people of all different gender identities to know to adequately label myself that, and I don't want to label myself something until I'm sure. Um, so, ow, sorry, one of my dermals has been bothering me lately. Tips on safe sex for FTMs. Obviously, part of safe sex for FTMs is the fact that we can still get pregnant. When you go on T, your ovaries do stop working at some point, usually, not always, but you can still get pregnant. It's rare, until you have them removed, oophorectomy and hysterectomy. Um, so make sure to take precautions about that. Another issue on safe sex for FTMs is that we can also obviously still get STDs. So be aware of that. Condoms are a good thing. Use protection. Make sure that you're tested and make sure that your partners are tested. Test yourself in between partners just to make sure that you're clean. I'm kind of hyper conscious of that, and I don't know, maybe that leads to me not, I don't know, sleeping with people, I guess, because I'm super hyper safety aware. But anyway, safe sex or FTMs. Back to that. Another thing to be aware of if you identify as an FTM transmasculine person who wishes to engage in sexual activities with men who are with cis men who or other with men who are involved in the bisexual or gay or well, stereotypically, I mean queer men scenes, because um, we have to be aware of when I started getting into the I started dating men, cis men, and or gay men who identified as gay. I became much more aware of HIV and safe sex with that and AIDS. Um, it's much like I went from the lesbian community because I primarily dated females, where AIDS really wasn't really discussed or like an issue as much. I mean, obviously it's always been an issue, but it wasn't really as like prominent of an issue to the the queer male community where it was much more of a talked about thing and much more of a prominent focus. Um, so be sure to take the necessary precautions to be aware of that too. So get HIV tested more often. Get HIV tested at the proper intervals because I believe it can show up anywhere up to I think 3 to 6 months after infection, or it might be 3 months after infection. So make sure that you get tested at the proper intervals to make sure you're safe and your partner's safe. Other thing about safe sex is always make sure that you're open and honest with your partner. Tell them if you have like anything that they need to know about. Make sure that you get yourself checked out to make sure you're safe. So get pap smears for trans guys, mammograms because we can still get cancer, or cervical cancer or breast cancer, chest cancer. So just be hyper aware of that as well, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself in relation to your own health, because that'll help you make sure that your partners are safe as well. Um, I guess the only other thing in relation to safe sex that I will add is because I'm fairly heavily involved in kink and BDSM. In relation to that, safety with kink and BDSM, obviously this is all directed at 18 and up people and people who are able to make those decisions legally and safely. Um, Make sure that you don't agree to things that you're not okay with. Be very upright and stand by the things that you believe are limits for you and the things that you're okay with. Don't let people push you, because that can lead to situations that you don't want to be in. I can say this from personal experience, where where I've had partners where I didn't tell them everything I wasn't okay with, and so they assumed I was okay with some stuff that I wasn't, and I kind of didn't really know what to do. So be upright or be upfront with that kind of thing. Also, if you're first getting into kink and BDSM, do not enter into a relationship with anyone until you know your way around the scene. Also, do not go anywhere without someone who you already know. It's just a safety issue. Um, Safe sex. Um, I guess that's really all I have to say about this. Safe sex with female or with uh, other individuals with vaginas. This is a weird video. I feel awkward, but I mean, safe sex with that goes back to make sure you have lubrication, because when you go on T, it does decrease how wet you get. And this is a really weird video. I feel like I'm blushing pretty bad. And make sure that you take the necessary precautions with when having intercourse with people with others with vaginas as well. So like dental dams if that's necessary, condoms, gloves if you're using your hands. Make sure to clean toys and sanitize them uh, every time you use them, between places that you use them. Make sure that you're very, very careful with that kind of thing, because that can spread infections, even ones besides STIs and STDs. It can just be general bacterial infections. So just make sure that you take care of your own health, and make sure that you're clear with your partner that they need to take care of themselves as well, and be upfront with each other about your medical histories. And this sounds like super scientific and unromantic, but it's your safety, it's your life, so make sure to take care of yourself. I am thoroughly embarrassed by this, and because it's not an embarrassing topic, but I'm weirded out by, I don't know, I feel weird about it still, because it's kind of awkward for me to talk about it, I guess. So, I'll see you guys next week.